Hi. Hi, I'm Kendra with Where's the Moon Astrology, and today I am talking about Moon and Aries. And we already talked about the general traits of each sign in the Aries through Pisces playlist, but I'm going to go into a little more detail. I'm going to try to get to all the personal placements, Moon, Mercury, Venus, Mars, etc. I'm going to try to get to all of those and kind of give a little more in-depth information about those particular placements because the energies of those planets are very different from one another. Now, if you have no idea what your moon sign is or what your Mercury sign is or your Venus sign, etc., what you're going to want to do is go to the link in the description of this video. Cafe Astrology has a very quick and easy way for you to find all of your personal placements, and from there you can just have a field day doing all your own research. But anyway, Moon and Aries. So what you have to remember about the moon is that when you're dealing with the energy of the moon, you're dealing with a much more personal energy than the energy of the sun. So what I always say about the energy of the sun is that it kind of expresses the most annoying traits of each sign because the sun is very flamboyant, it's very in your face, it's what people take pride in. So when you're dealing with pride, human pride, it's not going to always be pretty. And So, like, say, an Aries sun, I am an Aries sun myself. An Aries sun is going to be loudly and proudly projecting the traits of Aries. So, when I'm feeling all big and bad, I'm like, oh, I'll do this, I'll do that. Ain't nobody coming for me. I don't look like much, but I get pretty riled up. Um, Moon in Aries is going to be a lot different just because it's not a pride thing for them. This is actually who they are. They're not projecting those traits, they are those traits. So Moon in Aries is going to be, again, this is a much more personal placement. This expresses our knee-jerk emotional reactions, the way we are on a very private level. So people who are very close to you are going to see the energy of the moon. Not people that you don't know. That's going to be a little more private. For me, it's hard to make the distinction sometimes because I have my sun and moon in fire signs, and they can be very similar. But say you have like a Taurus sun and an Aries moon, it's going to be a pretty marked difference. The energy of Taurus is very different from the energy of Aries. So the energy of Aries is Aries moon is just going to be emotionally impulsive. A lot of Aries moons tend to have anger problems and problems with being too persistent. So Aries in general is going to be really, really persistent when it comes to getting what they want because all they know, sun, moon, Mercury, whatever it is, all they know is to push and push and push until they get what they want. Aries is a starter, and Aries will move mountains to get what they want. When they decide they want something, they will not stop until they get it. That's just how Aries energy is. But whereas, the sun in Aries is a little more loud and proud about it, Moon in Aries is just behaving from a place of this is what emotionally nurtures me. So the moon is going to be a placement that shows what you're emotionally nurtured by. So you wouldn't be happy with yourself as an Aries moon unless you were persistent, unless you were going after what you wanted, unless you were annoying people to get it. So my daughter is an Aries moon, my dad is an Aries moon. Um, I know a lot of people with Aries moon, and they are just super, super, super persistent people. Um, they will they'll pick at you, and they will annoy you until they get what they want. And in a lower vibration, they'll even they won't take no for an answer, and that can express in a very nasty way. Clearly you can't just not take no for an answer in every situation in your life. And in a lower vibration, Aries moon can do that. Aries moon can just absolutely refuse to take no for an answer because it's an emotional thing for them. The moon is the emotion, so they're emotionally wrapped up in um, getting what they want and getting that yes answer, and can be kind of emotionally selfish as well. Um, Moon in Aries, as far as what emotionally nurtures them, that it's going to be action. They're not going to be happy sitting around at their house and lounging around and doing things that are kind of purposeless. Um, Aries is going to want to pursue people, pursue activities. They're going to want to take action, and they're going to get depressed if they're not doing enough, if they're sitting at home and they're not taking action to get what they want or to initiate new activities. It's just they very much desire that action. They very much um, desire going places and seeing things. And independence is going to be something that they really crave on an emotional level. They're going to get depressed if they feel they're codependent or they're relying too much on other people. That's going to put them in a kind of a nasty headspace. Um, the moon also represents the mother in the chart. So if you have an Aries moon, your mother, now this is also kind of depends on how the moon is aspected, as well as a couple other factors in the chart, what's going on with the moon. Um, but in a positive sense, your mother could have been somebody who is very pioneering. She could have been an entrepreneur, somebody who, was a pusher, somebody that you really looked up to and admired. She could have been like a warrior type person to you. In a negative sense, she could have been had a lot of anger problems and a lot of emotional outbursts that were directed at you and could have been really kind of oppressive and harsh and even abusive. I know people with an Aries moon who had a mother who was extremely reactive to the point of being abusive, sometimes, hitting their kids and things like that. So those are the two possible manifestations of the mother when you have moon in Aries. Overall, having your moon in Aries means that you are a fighter. You can be kind of childlike in your emotional expression, um, kind of impulsive and not always very perceptive of other people's emotions. You're very perceptive of your own emotions, but not necessarily so much other people's emotions. So that's generally Aries moon. You're very brave, you're very pioneering. I think this is a very nice moon placement, but with this moon placement, you're going to have to remember that you're not center of the universe. Aries anything, I'm an Aries sun, I feel this completely. Aries anything can tend to think that the world revolves around them and that um, other people don't quite matter as much as they do. So it's just going to be important to remember that um, while you need that, your emotions are caught up in, getting what you want and pushing and, being that, embodying that warrior on an emotional level. Uh, you can hurt other people by doing that. And sometimes you have to take no for an answer. Sometimes you have to compromise. And that's going to be hard for you as an Aries moon, but it's just the way it is. It's one of the lessons. It's one of the lessons that you are going to have to learn in this life. One thing that I forgot to mention about Aries moon is that they are very protective. So they tend to utilize that warrior energy in order to protect their loved ones. And I've seen Aries moons get like frantically protective. It's almost like they don't understand when it's a joke and when it's not. If they hear somebody talking, even just jokingly talking bad about a loved one or accidentally, physically hurting a loved one, um, pretending like, for my baby's an Aries moon, like my mom will pretend to hit me or whatever, and she just loses her mind. I've seen my dad, who's a grown man, absolutely lose his mind when somebody, knocked my brother down or just anything. They tend to take any kind of perceived threat against a loved one and react to it, which is very admirable. It shows that they really love their people and they're not going to let anyone hurt them. That's what they're trying to project. And it's from a very instinctual place. They are just not going to let anybody hurt the people that they love. And that is one of the most amazing things about Aries Moon. Anyway, that's the end of Aries Moon. I really enjoyed talking about it. It's one of my um, it's a moon placement that I feel conflicted about because so many people that I love have this moon placement, but so many people that I love are very very aggressive towards me when it comes to getting what they want out of me, and I'm like, oh my god, like this is the most unfiltered, um, potent manifestation of Aries, I think. Um, so yeah, if I do offer chart readings, I will link you in the description of this video to where you can see what kind of chart readings I offer. I offer, 1 hour chart readings. I offer shorter chart readings, which, cost a little less. And I also actually just started offering moon reports and, sun, moon, Mercury, Venus, Mars reports, which basically goes into the condition of one planet in your chart and really, really dissects that placement in depth. Instead of reading the whole chart, I'm really, really focusing on this one area. So it's like a little mini reading. And I'm really, really excited to start doing those. I've already done a few and just really, really excited to do more. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this and have a great day, Aries Moon.